Okay. All right. Finally. It's me. It's CBB. What's up, guys? Flying solo today. Had a little bit of life getting in the way last couple of days. It happens. But yeah, we're just going to have ourselves a nice little chill stream. Hang out. Talk about whatever you guys want to talk about. The news of wrestling. Whatever else is going on. Your show today. Okay. Hey, Courtney, what's up? Yeah, we had I had a coworker got into a little bit of an automobile issue. Kind of got his car totaled. He's fine, by the way. There's nothing wrong with him. He's cool. But I had to go and cover for him. You get a little bit of bank away a little bit of karmic currency in case I ever need somebody to cover for me. So I'm doing good. I'm doing good. Doing good, Courtney. Appreciate it. But what's up, guys? Some interesting things afoot in the world of wrestling. R-Truth is back. Or, well, Ron Killings is back. There's some debate as to whether or not it was all a work or a shoot. According to Triple H, it was all part of the plan. I'm not buying it. I think the people made their voices clear, just like they did with Cody versus Roman last year. And WWE pivoted. I don't know why Hunter is I don't know why Hunter's so insistent on saying it was all part of the plan. I mean, we know that when WWE is forced to pivot, they don't like it. That their original plans got derailed. But hey, it's good that they did it. He's back. I'm glad. And like I said, I know that Hunter's probably running interference for the TKO board, even though Hunter is the one who chooses who goes. He's not the one who chooses when someone goes. So, okay, I'm back. What did I miss? Nothing, Mal. Appreciate you being here, man. Hope you're safe. Careful what you're driving, man. If you're driving, I don't know what time you're driving, but hey. But, if you're on the road, man, be safe. Keep your eyes on the road. So what's going on, guys? What have you guys been watching? What's been interesting you? What's been going on? Like I said, we're just doing a chill stream today. Where's Frank? Frank's working. Like I said, we weren't able to do our stream yesterday because of things happening. So I'm flying solo today. And I'm just hanging out with you guys. I've been playing a lot of Fortnite. I can't get into Fortnite, Corny. I don't fault you for liking it. It's popular. It's popular. There's a lot of cool stuff in Fortnite. I've just never been able to get into it. That's the kind of game that's better, I think, when you're playing with friends. But I did see they announced Resident Evil 9 at the Summer Game Fest, which I'm stoked about that. Malacito says, that's easy. Paul doesn't want anybody questioning his decisions or booking. I don't know if that's entirely it. I mean, I think everybody that's in creative and in control of the company don't like it when they're forced to pivot because it throws their plans into disarray. But at the same time, when your fan base gets that vocal about something, you've got to pivot. You have to. And I think they did the right. I did think they did the right thing. You're never gonna get them to admit. I mean, that's one thing about Tony Khan that I do like is that if his fan base makes a loud enough stink, he's like, okay, you got to give the people what they want. But I just don't understand the insistence that it was all part of the plan because test. Okay. For God's sake. Test. There it goes. Okay. Now we're back. You guys hear me okay? My system decided to crash on me. Let me yeah, okay, good. But Money in the Bank had some decent matches. Some were disappointing at the end. I think Andrade should have gotten the suitcase. It would have been a surprise. Yeah, the thing about those filler pay-per-views, anything outside of the big four, you're really not going to get a whole lot of surprises. It's going to be what it's going to be, man. And pretty much everything that I expected happened, except for I was surprised they put the belt on Naomi. I mean, they gave the briefcase to Naomi. Rollins doesn't need it, but given that they've set him and his faction up to be the big bad going forward, it doesn't shock me. It really doesn't. It's going to be what it's going to be, I also think I'll say also not a fan of Worlds Collide getting buried by Money in the Bank. That's the problem when your focus is not so much on doing the best show that you possibly can, but producing as much content as you possibly can. That's the whole Netflix thing coming into play. I personally think. Yeah, but dude, there's a lot of people in that company that should be in a better position than they are. Andrade should be being used better. Dragon Lee should be pretty much half the guys in the LWO should be treated better. They should be doing better. Look how fast Penta and his brother just kind of got pushed to the wayside. Chad Gable. If it wasn't for Chad Gable doing that lucha angle, he'd be dude. Chad Gable himself had a match and he lost. his alter ego is winning, but he's losing. So Penta would have been a better choice. Pretty much everybody that except Seth could have used the Money in the Bank briefcase to help elevate them. They're not interested in elevating anybody right now. They don't care. Wasn't paying attention to speed. Got to slow down. Got to slow down now. Yeah, dude, Mal, be careful, brother. Please, please, please. Be careful, man. Karrion Kross is a lost cause. I'm gonna say that right now. I like Kross. I liked him when he was called Killer Kross on the Indies. I liked him when he was in NXT. WWE doesn't know what they don't know what to do with him. It's like Hunter likes him and he wants him there, but he doesn't want to pull the trigger on him being involved in anything important. That's been a long time. Yeah, Solo turning on Jacob. Jacob turning on Solo. That's been a long time coming. And the unfortunate thing is now Solo's going to get pushed to the mid card again. It's going to be Jacob's going to stomp him, and Jacob's going to move up, and Solo's going to move down. Because and let's be honest, of all the people in that family, Jacob Fatu is the most talented. That's on the roster right now. You know, he is hands down the most talented guy in their family right now. So I'm all for him getting elevated. It's unfortunate that's going to happen at Solo's expense, but that's the way it is. Squeaky wheel gets the grease. What do you guys think about Gunther beating Jay? I think it was the right call. Nothing against Jay, but outside of the whole, and here's the thing, Jay is crazy popular. He's crazy over, but as far as his work in the ring, he has not been on the same level that he's been in the past. So from my understanding is he's actually been working injured, which might be part of the problem. It's also the fact that I feel like Gunther kind of got screwed during his first world title run because, and this is something that WWE does, and I don't like it. It's the same thing that happened to MJF. When they get popular, they try to turn them face. And for some guys, it just doesn't work. They are natural born heels. MJF is a natural born heel. He works best when he's a heel. Was he doing okay as a face? Sure. But it destroyed that mystique that he built up as a heel. That, like, you go back to his run against CM Punk and when he started the whole devil gimmick, dude, he was on another freaking level. And the fact that they sacrificed that because he got popular, and he's still trying to get back to that point at this point. Same thing with Gunther. When he was the ring general and then they tried to make him a tweener, it killed a lot of his mystique. And that in turn hurt Jay's run. And Jay's run was just very mediocre because of that. Why do they work injured? It's a mentality thing, Courtney. Yeah, and I was actually if they didn't work, they didn't get paid. And also, it was very possible that if you didn't keep working, if you took time off to heal from an injury, it was very possible that somebody else would come and take your spot, and then you were screwed. You had to start from the bottom again. That was part of the argument about why what happened with Bret Hart when he got hurt by Bill Goldberg. You know, like that's the whole argument of who's responsible for what happened to Brett? Was it Bill Goldberg? Was it Brett himself? Was it the business? And the reality is it was all three. It was partially Bill Goldberg's fault because, and Bill Goldberg himself admits to this, that he would work very stiff and he would put a lot more behind certain moves to make them, because he quote unquote wanted them to look good. Also, you are out of sight, out of mind. Yeah, you're out of sight, out of mind. Yep, and that's another part of it. And that's kind of like the way it was back in the day, because it was like, okay, this guy's down. All right, next man up. Let's go. And a lot of guys would take that opportunity to try to build some cachet for themselves. And there were times when people they lost, they lost their spot. That's part of why Brett, but then also, so Bill Goldberg was responsible. He was the guy that initially hurt Brett, but Brett kept working hurt after that. He had 8 matches. Brett wrestled 8 more matches after that. Okay. And the simple fact of the matter was, he knew he was hurt, but he kept wrestling hurt, and it just exacerbated his injury to the point of no return. So, and that's on Brett for doing that. But also, that was, even though at that point the business was starting to change, it wasn't quite there yet. The business was still very unforgiving, and it was like, if you took time off, there's a very good chance that somebody else is going to come in and take your spot. And that happened to a couple of people. So, Leggett says, my local con will have Jericho, Paul White, Kelly, Carmella, and Bret Hart. That's a pretty cool con, man. I wouldn't mind going and getting Jericho, Paul and Brett's autograph. That'd be pretty cool. Get a picture with them. Kelly, and Carmella, don't really give a crap. Nothing against them, but no big deal with me. Yeah, and that was also that was just the mentality, because you got to remember, Brett was like one of those guys that, even though he was in that era, he still came from that old school way of thinking, which was you just suck it up and you keep going. So, and that's where I say that part of the blame also falls on the business and the way the business just was back then. I'm waiting for Mission Pro Wrestling to come back from hiatus. Yep. Cool. I haven't watched any Mission Pro Wrestling or anything like that. But, yeah. It was, that's just kind of the way things are, and again, you got to remember that, their dad came from that, oh yeah, Stu Hart, and Stu Hart's, that's exactly the kind of mentality that Stu Hart had. Stu Hart's mentality was, dude, if you can move, if you can breathe, you get out there and you get out there and you work. That's the way he was. And that's the way he taught his boys. That's the way he brought them up. But, at the end of the day, it is what it is. But getting back to the original topic of discussion, I'm happy for Ron Killings. Hopefully he gets a good final run there. I think what'll more than likely happen is this will be his last run, and then he'll end up with like a Legends contract or something after this. Plus shows you reliable, how they can build plans around you if you're always if you're always getting hurt. Yeah. But then that's one aspect of the business that I think changed for the better. Is Ron a heel or a face? I think right now he's a face. Dude, he's too over to be a heel right now. I could see him going heel and turning on somebody. I don't think he's a heel. I really don't think he's a heel. I think he's a face right now. Now I could see them having him change, going heel, and then like maybe going after whoever ends up beating Gunther. And I think Gunther will lose the world championship by the end of the year, and I think he's going to lose it to Sammy. I think he's going to lose You're getting the Ron Killings from TNA. Yeah. No, yeah, but right now, at least for the immediate future, I think he's still going to be a face. He's going to be more of a hardcore guy. He's going to be a lot less of a jokey character. But I think he's still going to be. I think he's still going to be he's going to be a face at least for now. But I wouldn't be surprised if here's what I think is going to happen. And this is why I think they took the belt off of Jay. I think Jay was working hurt. I also think that the intention was that Jay was never going to be a long champion. I mean, it's just the friggin' truth. I don't think he was going to ever. I don't think they ever intended for him to be a long champion. But I think they put the belt back on Gunther because I think Sammy is going to win King of the Ring. And I think he's going to be the one that I think he's going to eventually challenge Gunther. They're going to kind of do the same thing with him that they did with Bryan Danielson. He's going to finally win the world champion. He's going to beat Gunther. He's going to finally win the world championship, and then he's going to get cashed in on by Seth, and Seth's going to take the belt from him. You're going to get that kind of a situation going. And then everybody's going to be chasing Seth. So, I don't know. I think they saw Yeet as a great way to sell merchandise and used him as champion to push sales a little more. That 100%. That's 100% what they were doing. They were using him to sell T-shirts, and it worked, and it's going to continue to work. He's still going to be popular, with or without the belt, and people are going to be watching to see if he can reclaim that belt. You still watch AEW? I watch everything. I watch as much as I can, Courtney. Admittedly, the last 6 months or so, I slowed down quite a bit. I don't watch TNA. I haven't watched TNA in a while. I just don't have time. I can't watch everything. I love New Japan, so I watch New Japan as much as I can. There are times when I will actually sacrifice watching WWE and TNA so I can watch New Japan. But it's just, it's just so much out there. It's too much. It really is. It's too much. Sometimes you just got to take a break. I'm getting back to the point where I'm starting to watch more, get back to watching what I was. Because even just between WWE and AEW, I'm watching 4 hours. Okay. WWE, I'm watching 6 hours right now. So between the two of them, that's 11 hours of wrestling a week. All right. Then you throw in New Japan, and I'm watching usually between 2 and 3 episodes a week. That's another 5 to 6 hours. That's a lot of freaking wrestling, guys. Okay. And that's also with me on top of me watching podcasts so I can watch interviews and stuff like that. That's with me going back and watching old matches from the past. Just catching as much wrestling content as I possibly can, just so that I can keep up with everything that's going on. And for a while, man, it was bogging me down. So I had to stop, and I slowed down, and eventually I was watching Raw and Dynamite, and then I would catch highlights of SmackDown and Collision, and that was it. Because it was too much. But I'm getting back now to where I kind of got my stride back, and I'm getting back to watching this more and more stuff. So, but it's hard, man. It's hard to keep up with everything. And plus, you try to keep your eyes on the indie scene because there's a lot of people that got released. You want to see where they end up. You want to see what they're doing. You know, um, there's a lot of stuff there's a lot of news to watch. So, but yeah. So let me ask you guys this: what do you think of this is another big topic of contention. Mariah May's new name in NXT. What do you guys think of her new name? Did you guys see what it was? So, for anybody that doesn't know, Mariah May's new name in NXT is Blake Monroe. And the video that she cut, it was stylized to make it look like an old Hollywood newsreel. And they kind of are kind of making her kind of look like a little bit of a knockoff of Tony Storm with that. So yeah, I'm not a real big fan of the Blake Monroe name. I don't know why they didn't just call her Mariah Monroe. I think that would have worked better, especially because it's clear they're trying to draw parallels to Marilyn Monroe. So why they wouldn't just call her Mariah Monroe or something like that, I don't get. There's also the fact that it does seem like she's kind of taking a shot at timeless Tony Storm, which is funny because Tony kind of cut a promo where when they had their feud that she was copying her. So, and I agree with you. I think she's gonna be hot for 5 minutes and then they're gonna bury her. She may not have wanted her first name. Well, here's the thing: as long as it's not her full name, she could still use, like, if they changed her name to Mariah Monroe, if she left, she could still use Mariah May because it's a completely different name. You know, you could just like John Morrison changes his name to John something or else wherever you go. You could still use your name if you can't copyright half a name. You just can't. So this is just wanting to change her to something completely different than what she was using in AEW, which, okay, whatever. It happens. The people do it all the time. But Blake Monroe, the Blake part's the what I'm like, okay, whatever. Wish you luck. Hope you do well. But it is what it is. What else? Let me see. I'm looking at headlines here to see what's new in wrestling. What's new as far as what's been going on. So they got the Warner Brothers split going on. A lot of people are saying it spells doom and gloom for AEW. I don't think it does. AEW's got a 4-year contract, guaranteed contract, with a possibility of a 5th. So they'll be fine. It doesn't matter. This thing is not going to affect them for at least a couple of years. Trying to see what else is going on here. Oh yeah, the Kevin Kelly and Tate Twins lawsuit that's going forward. So AEW was trying to get that thrown out of court, and They didn't get thrown out of court, but they did win a ruling where the judge ordered the lawsuit to go to arbitration. So that's going to end up them paying them some money and making it go away. So it is what it is. Do you think God will return to attack Jacob and help Solo? Honestly, you know what I would like to see? I would like to see Solo go a completely different direction. I would like to see Solo break the bloodline thing. I would like to see him align himself with New Day. So we get the New Day versus God. That would be pretty cool. I think that'd be pretty cool. I'd like to see then again, I don't know. Because Solo, they're kind of, I mean, Jacob, they're kind of positioning him as a face. So we'll see. But yeah, I think it's going to be better for them in the long term if they pull away from the bloodline stuff and kind of secure themselves as their own thing. Because what's eventually going to happen, I think, is Roman's going to come back and he's going to reform the bloodline. And it's going to be him and the OG bloodline, which was him, Jimmy, and Jay, taking on Seth's faction. I really think Roman's going to be the guy that brings down Seth. I don't think it's going to be Cody. I see Jacob winning the world title and a feud with Braun Breaker. Oh, dude, I'd love to see that. I'd like to see him. What I'd really like to see is I would like to see Roman put together the new bloodline. It is a porn star name. Yeah, it is. I would like to see Roman put together the new bloodline and Jacob Fatu take the spot that Solo had. And see that eventually lead to Jacob fighting for the world championship, for one of the world titles. I don't know. There's a lot of guys. There's a lot going on around all those different belts right now. I like that they put the belt back on Gunther, and I hope that they do him right this time. Dude, they're not going to do shit with him. They're not going to do They're not going to do shit with Hikuleo. They picked up Hikuleo with the express purpose to keep him from going anywhere else. And they have nothing for him. They legitimately have nothing for that guy. So we'll see. He hasn't even shown up in NXT yet. So, and I don't know, man. It may be that he just doesn't fit the WWE style, which, okay, whatever, then cut him loose. Would be interesting if Reigns returns, but with Dean Ambrose. Dude, Jon Moxley is never going back. Jon Moxley won't go back to WWE until he's old and broken, and he's looking for a Legends contract. That's the only way Jon Moxley is going back to WWE. Because if he goes back to WWE, he can't be who he wants to be. They won't. They're going to pass the Punk to pass the Rollins. I don't think so. I don't think Punk's going to win. I don't think Punk's winning. I really don't think Punk's going to win. Because if Punk was going to win, I mean, they could do something like that. They could do something where if Punk does win, it's not going to be at Saudi Arabia. It'll be like the last match that Cena has, his last contracted date, and he'll lose then. And I could see Punk beating him for that belt and then immediately getting getting cashed in by Seth. Basically, I could see the same scenario that I put forward for Sammy happening with I could see the same scenario that I had for Sammy happening with Punk. And then them setting that up going forward. I can see that. But I think what's going to happen is Gunther's going to go get the world title. Yeah, I know. You shut the hell up. You shut your mouth. New Horseman. That was what was going to happen until COVID derailed everything. You guys can go back and you can look at, you could see that they were literally forming it. They were literally creating it. So you shut up. And that's and honestly, this is the good thing about WWE right now is they've got multiple directions they could go with both their world titles. They got multiple directions they can go with both of them, and that's good. Having options is good because it keeps people guessing. So the reality is we don't know what they're going to do. But what are the all-in numbers up to now? I know they increased the number of seats they had. All-in ticket sales. $2025. So as of 5 days ago, they were over 16,000. Okay. So Forbidden Door, which is going to be in London, at the Q2 Arena in London. That's at 12,000. So, those aren't bad. I mean, those aren't bad numbers. I mean, all in will be 20,000 plus by the time they're done. So, how about that botch by Logan Paul with the Hangman Clothesline Punk? Dude, look, everybody's gonna screw up once in a while. Everybody slips up. It happens. I do think it's funny that they botch it, that they botched it doing it. You know, hey, pick your own shit. That's another very controversial subject matter right there, is Logan Paul. On the one hand, the dude's putting in work. On the other hand, he's kind of an unlikable dude. So what are you gonna do? What do you do with him? What do you guys think about all this this merchandise branding that they're doing, where they've got all the advertising on the ring and the ring apron, and they got advertising. They've got advertising on the tables and the ladders, even the ladders. So that's TKO right there, man. TKO, man. They're pushing off. They're pushing for every dollar they can squeeze out of them. See what's going on here. My pontificator brothers here. Yes. Oh my God. Have you guys seen, on a completely different topic, have you guys seen these AI videos they're doing with Bigfoot? They're doing these AI. I'll tell you what, man, AI is getting crazy, dude. AI is getting absolutely crazy. Did you see Paul do a moonsault through a table? I've never seen a wrestler do that before. What did do? Make him a heck of a heel. Yeah, and him going heel was the perfect thing to do because people were going to boo him anyway. But these Bigfoot videos, man, it's basically Bigfoot acting. It's like if Bigfoot were a friggin' vlogger. So he's doing all these like stream logs and stuff where he finds leftover shit that people have left, and he's like he finds drugs and energy drinks and stuff like that. He's like I'm crashing out. It's hilarious. He's like, I got these mushrooms here. This one will get you geeked. This one killed Steve, and this one lets you see God, and he eats it. Oh man, and they're oh my god, they're really funny. They're really funny. But I'm waiting for them to do more of those with like different people and stuff like that. Excuse me. So Goldberg's going to be on Raw next week. Kind of travesty do you think that's going to be? Goldberg's you think they put the belt on Gunther just so Goldberg could take it off of him? No, I don't care about Bigfoot. I'm not right now. If I want to talk about ghosts and demons, then we're talking. Dude, they had one where he freaking he's tripping on friggin' mushrooms and he meets Cthulhu. He's on a boat and he's like, dude, the Kraken's behind me. He's like, let's go. I'm gonna fight him. And then he's like, this was a mistake. I gotta get out of here. Oh my god. There's some funny stuff, man. But yeah, I don't know what's. If anything, you would think that Goldberg would come back and lose to put somebody over, but and then again, it's Bill Goldberg, so. Excuse me. Plus lights built for when I got home and deserved the proper spot. We saw the success of Worlds Collide, and now the people embraced it. Here's my opinion on things AEW should do to keep Lucha authentic for the fans at home in attendance. We should create buzz online. Use CMLL ring announcer to announce the wrestlers. Use CMLL style pyro for entrances. Mystico coming out to his Mimuro theme song and letting the fans sing it. Facing. That's interesting. I wonder why, because they do you guys think that they should do something similar with CMLL that they do with New Japan? Like do a joint like take one of their pay-per-views and turn it into a joint show with CMLL. And just like with New Japan, they have what the hell is going on with my glasses, man? Freaking lopsided. They have the ring announcers who do the announcements in both languages. Or Forbidden Door. Yeah, like something similar to Forbidden Door. Or well, I don't know if you could do that. I don't know if New Japan would be on board with them combining it and turning it into a three company show. I think All In should be like that, because that's what All In was. All In was a multi-company show. But if anything, maybe just pick one of their pay-per-views, one of their monthly pay-per-views, and turn that into a joint joint AEW CMLL show, and then have the announcers from CMLL and also one of the commentators for CMLL be a part of it, just like they do with AEW. I don't think that would be a bad idea. One thing it would definitely do is it would definitely expose CMLL talent to more people. And I think it would help strengthen that relationship, just like the All In does with New Japan. I think it's definitely something that could help. Oh my God, my blood sugar is going crazy. But I don't think that's a bad idea. I could see that happening. And I think it would definitely help with the other thing too is like one of the things that I agreed with. I can't remember who it was. I think it was Brian Alvarez in a rare moment of clarity, but it might have been Bully Ray on Busted Open. I can't remember, but I agree with them that AEW should do kind of the way WWE does. They should do a recap in front of all their shows to like basically let everybody who maybe didn't watch both shows or missed a week or something to let them know what's going on. And then when you're going to have a wrestler that most people probably have never heard of, you have like a video package showing who that person is and what they do before the match happens so that you got some context. So that's something I think AEW really needs to do to step up their program. AEW's been better this year than they have been the last year and a half or so. Year and a half, 2 years. But there's definitely still room for improvement. What we got going on here? Abaddon's contract expires. Yeah. Oh God, Nikki Bella. All right. I'm going to say something about Nikki Bella that might piss some people off. Like I say, AEW needs a cruiserweight tournament and build up with feuds in that arena. Dude, I think they should create and just be a little different. Don't call it a cruiserweight title or a light or a juniors or anything like that. Call it the middleweight belt. Call it the World Middleweight Championship. And any wrestler who's like 190 and under can wrestle for that belt. So you got a belt for your smaller guys. And kind of put the same kind of emphasis on it that New Japan puts on their juniors, on their junior world champion. Because until recently, the juniors title in New Japan was that was the number 2 belt there for a long time. And that led to a lot of really cool matches. Like that's the first time Ospreay versus Okada happened was when because they had a tradition for a while that I don't think they do. I don't think they still do it, which is unfortunate. But they had a tradition where after Wrestle Kingdom, whoever held the world championship, they would wrestle the junior champion. And that match between Ospreay and Okada was freaking great. I would make Hook the first champion of it and give Hook an attitude, turn him a heel. They've kind of insinuated that he's going to turn on the Ops, that he's not happy with him, which I would begin. I'll tell you what Hook needs. Hook needs a freaking personality. He doesn't have one. That guy, he's got a lot of upside, man. He's got some good potential, but man, they need to really get him a personality, man. He's boring as shit. I think he's got good fundamentals. He's got a decent look. You know, he's a little. I think he puts another 10, 15 pounds on, he's fine. And it's clear he knows moves, but he does. He needs a mouthpiece. He 100% needs a mouthpiece. I don't think he does. I don't think he has the same gift of I cannot speak today. But he doesn't have the gift of gab like his dad does. Where's Nakamura? Is he hurt or just off TV? I think he's just off TV. I don't remember him being injured. Let's see here. Is Shinsuke Nakamura injured? Yes, Shinsuke. Let's see. Contrary to popular belief, is not dealing with any injuries. Is healthy and has been working overseas. Oh, he's been working he's been working overseas. Oh, wait a minute. That's an old thing here. That's from 8 months ago. Why do they do that? Meet tools, time, past month. Yeah, I don't think he's injured. I just don't think they've done anything with him. But yeah, as far as him, why they're not doing anything with him, I don't know. That's a bummer. What a waste, dude. Nakamura is at this point, dude. He's like, if they're gonna pay me to surf, cool. Then build up a Hook versus Dynamite Kid. He and Dynamite should beat the Luchadors and Top Flight guys, etc. Have them build up, dude. AEW especially would have a freaking killer lightweight division. They've got so many guys that are on the smaller side. Let's see here. W roster. Like just off the top of my head, you've got Action Andretti, you've got what's his name? I think I don't how big is Daniel Garcia? Dante Martin, you got Dante and Darius Martin, Darby Allin, Drilistico, Hologram, Hook. I think Sammy's only like 180 or something like that. Sammy Guevara. Yeah, he's like 195. So he's a little heavier. He's a little on the heavier side, but he can still go into that category. Kip Sabian. I think Ibushi's jacked, but I think he's smaller. He's a smaller dude. See here, pace Kota Ibushi. No, actually, he's over 200. So, and normally I would say, you know what, dude, just like WWE does, just have it be like, if you're 205 pounds and under, but that would be, there are friggin' guys in their heavyweight division that are fighting for the belt that are under 200, that are under 205. I think Omega's only like 210. You know, Mansoor, Leo Rush. Is Matt Seidel? I think Matt Seidel is a smaller dude. So, see here. Yeah, Matt Seidel is like 180. You know, Speedball Mike Bailey, he's a smaller guy. Nick Wayne's kind of a weird anomaly because I think he's gonna be a lot. Let's see here. Nick Wayne. Yeah, Nick Wayne's like 160. He's a skinny little dude. They've got a ton of guys that are on the smaller side that could be a big deal in that division. So, and honestly, if you're going to introduce a new belt, did you see Omega's Street Fighter commercial? Yeah, I saw it. I'm like, it's funny. I would think that they would put more AEW branding in that so that you could kind of tell. Because I know that I saw some people watching it and they didn't know who the hell he was. They're like, who is this guy? Is he like a UFC fighter or something like that? And I'm like, way to drop the ball on that. But yeah, I saw it. I actually, there were a couple of really good games coming out. But I think was it the Xbox showcase was the best one so far. How about Malenko sending Otani the cruiserweight title show? Great show. Yeah, dude, I saw that. Dean Malenko. I'm trying to remember. Let's see here. Dean Malenko. Huh. Cruiser. Wait. Belt. Do. Yeah, and it wasn't just any cruiserweight belt; it was the actual cruiserweight belt. Yeah. Yeah, I was Dean Malenko just sent Shinjiro Otani the real WCW cruiserweight title they wrestled for in 1996. That's pretty dope. That's a really cool. Yeah, that is. Dude, I like Dean Malenko. Dude, I know a lot of people didn't like him because they thought he was boring, but I always liked Dean Malenko. I thought Dean Malenko was cool as shit. Same thing with Lance Storm. Like people say they don't have any personality. I'm like, they're just stoic guys, you know. They do their talking in the ring. So, and I've always been a guy that the biggest part of a wrestler for me was their in-ring performance. You know, it's not that I don't think promos and everything are great. I mean, look at Austin and The Rock and, you know, Ric Flair and MJF, Punk, all those guys. But in the ring is where I really pay attention. Yeah, and stuff like, and there needs to be more stuff like that. Dean versus Zack Sabre Jr. Bryan would have been the dude. Dean versus, I would have liked to have seen Dean versus Kurt Angle. I'd love to see like a. So that's the kind of stuff people need to do with AI. They need to do some cool wrestling stuff with AI, man. It's funny. Storm found his personality. Yeah, he's so much more animated on Busted Open than he is anywhere else, dude. He's something. It's he found his niche, man. He found his niche. But I would love to see Dean Malenko versus Chad Gable in his prime. I think those are matches that would be dope as hell. But all right, guys. Anyway, we just hit an hour. I've got pontificators coming up here in a little bit, so I'm going to have to sign off. I appreciate you guys hanging out with me. I might do this. I might start doing this every week, just having a chill stream and just talking and hanging out. But yeah, you guys have a good week. Watch some wrestling. Take care of yourselves. Be safe, and we'll catch you guys next week.